It's your birthday, and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday. I know where I'm having my next birthday party at Willy's Wonderland. Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and I just watched a really weird movie, and I came on here to talk about it. So, for those not familiar, Willy's Wonderland is the latest Nicolas Cage horror movie. I did a trailer reaction a few weeks ago. When the trailer dropped, I'll put a link to that in the description. So after watching that, I was really looking forward to seeing the movie itself. This was one of my more anticipated ones. I'm a huge fan of Nicolas Cage when he does horror, especially recently. Stuff like Mom and Dad, Mandy, Color Out of Space. I feel like let's be honest, he's not quite like the box office draw he used to be, with like these big blockbuster movies. And Cage, in more recent years, has resorted to more like, direct-to-video, direct-to-streaming stuff. And they're not always great. But the thing is, I feel like his brand of insanity, for lack of a better term, works best in horror. And that's very much on display here. In this movie, he's credited only as the janitor. We never find out his name. He never says a word of dialogue in the entire movie. He's just a guy that is... his car gets messed up. He's trying to get it fixed. They tell him, hey, clean up this place, Willy's Wonderland, overnight, and in the morning, we'll fix your car. And you doing the job will be payment. And this place happens to have a very dark secret involving really creepy Chuck E. Cheese-like animatronics. There's sort of a dark history behind it all, which I don't want to get too much into because I don't really want to spoil anything. Just know that there's like a whole history behind it, and there's a reason why this is happening. And someone, the guy that Cage is playing was really only supposed to just die. I don't think that's really spoiling anything because the trailer says it, but he is the wrong person to send in there because, the animatronics, Willy and his crew think that he's just going to be another victim, as they've had many before, and Nicolas Cage goes full John Wick on them. I said he doesn't have any dialogue, but the only thing we hear from him is his signature grunting and screaming, the ah, ah, which is Cage at his best. So it has a lot of really cool kind of close-up gritty action scenes of Nicolas Cage fighting these animatronics. But the whole movie itself has this really great sense of humor. I love how, each time he fights one, he's wearing this, like, really cheesy Willy's Wonderland t-shirt. And, like, it keeps getting dirty, and he keeps swapping it out for a clean one, thinking that it's going to stay clean for more than, 20 minutes. And because he's there to do a job, like, he's fighting for his life, but still working on, spraying down the tables and cleaning the jukebox and, sweeping the floors. In between, his fights with these killer animatronics, he's still doing the job. He takes it very seriously, what he was hired to do. And it gets to the point that he's still... Like, at one part, he's in the middle of fighting, and his watch alarm goes off. It's time for his break. And during his break, he goes and plays on a pinball machine in the break room. So he's still... It's still a job for him. And I have mad respect for that level of dedication. The fact that, yeah, he wasn't expecting to have to kill these animatronics and fight for his life, but he still has a job to do. Cage is perfect in this. The movie wouldn't work if it was anyone else, because he's that one actor that he can be cheesy, he can be over the top, he can dial it up to 11 in a way that no other actor can. And there's some movies where it just doesn't work, and there's others where it does. In this one, it does. I actually heard that he had always wanted to do, he'd always wanted to like play a silent movie horror character. And this was sort of like a dream of his to kind of get to do that. And that he studied early silent films of like the 20s. I love that he's able to still convey that level of cageism, if you will, but without a single line of dialogue. That said, the other characters have dialogue, and their dialogue is regrettably not as good as you would want it to be. The other characters feel very cliche. They feel like walking horror movie tropes. You know, the arrogant sheriff who's, you know, maybe or maybe doesn't know about the town secret. You know, the group of teenagers that are annoying. You know, it was a cool line when I heard it in Watchmen, but when someone says like, oh, he's not trapped in here with them, they're trapped in here with him. It was cool when Rorschach said it. When I heard it in this, I'm like, that's been done. And even even the whole backstory of Willy's Wonderland and sort of how it became the way it did, it's an interesting backstory, but I kind of wish that it had been revealed, you know, sort of in little snippets here and there, or that more of it was just implied. But when they do reveal it, it's kind of right in the middle of the movie. And the movie takes a hard stop from the momentum and the action it's building to just kind of dump a whole bunch of exposition where it almost feels like you're watching, like, you know, the History Channel documentary of Willy's Wonderland, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. That'd be a cool documentary to watch if it were real. I'm just saying that that part of the movie doesn't really mesh with the Nicolas Cage fighting animatronics stuff. It's almost like you have two different movies going on. You have the awesome Cage silent film that is brilliantly choreographed, brilliantly staged, and that Cage is selling everything just with physicality and body language and facial expression. And then you have this very sort of run-of-the-mill, cliche horror movie. And it's kind of blending the two of them together. So I'd honestly probably be more forgiving of the kind of cheesy horror movie stuff if that's all the movie was and it just kind of owned it. But I'd be really curious to see, what does this movie look like if it's just the Cage stuff? What if the second he goes into Willy's Wonderland, we do not see the outside again until the very end? Maybe that'd be terrible. I don't know. Maybe we get bored of watching it. I just, I really preferred those parts to the others. Some people are saying it's trying to be Five Nights at Freddy's, which I gotta be honest, and I might lose some horror cred here. I've actually never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I know like the basic gist of it, and I know that there is a movie of that in the works with Chris Columbus directing. I think last I read, they were going to start shooting in spring of this year, spring 2021. So I'd be really interested to see that when it comes out and kind of compare the two. But as far as this one goes, I don't know that it's trying to copy that idea. I don't know, you know, it's a person fighting, you know, objects that come to life and try to kill you. That's not exactly a unique or original idea. It has been done in the past. Here it's done in a new and fun and interesting way. The animatronics themselves were legitimately creepy. For the most part, it's done with practical effects. I love that, you know, it's actual people in costumes fighting Nicolas Cage. It's a couple bits of CGI here and there. It's kind of low budget, so you can really tell when it's CGI. but then that also means you can really tell when it's not. And for the most part, it's just him fighting these really. I've seen the images from Five Nights at Freddy's. I've seen this movie, and it's like to say, neither are as creepy as the actual animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese, which no doubt is what inspired this movie. So that's all I can really say about it without spoiling too much. It's like half of it is Nicolas Cage in Mandy, and half of it is any other indie slasher movie that's ever been released. So it's kind of hard for me to grade it. I will say I enjoyed watching it. I would probably watch it again. I may, as soon as it's available on a major streaming platform, I want to do it for one of the watch parties that we do every week. So, for those that have seen it, what did you think? What's your favorite Nicolas Cage horror movie? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. And as always, stay scared. And remember, every day is Halloween.